Other than divine intervention, what makes America great? You ever thought about that? Our resources? Nope. Plenty of countries have resources. Plenty do. And those countries aren't great. Is there our people? Sure. Plenty of countries have people just as smart, just as good looking, who are crushing as we do. And those countries aren't great. There's two things and two things only that really make America great. It's not the First Amendment. It's not the Second Amendment. Those two things are private property and rule of law. All right, private property is obvious. You are the kingdom of your domain. You are the king of your domain. You own this piece of property, and when you have an ownership stake, you take pride in it. You build on it. You advance it. You secure it. The other than that, socialism, is always tragedy of the commons. No one has an ownership stake in it, so no one cares. You have an ownership stake in it, you care, which is why owning home ownership is such a big, big deal. Now, private property is enforced by rule of law, the contractual obligation. You can't just have some thug come up here and say, "Hey, I'm taking over now." You don't have a deed. You don't have a contract to take this. I am. Why? Because I have force. Well, thankfully, we have a police force and a judicial system that can come and defend our private property because we have a contractual obligation. We bought this piece of land off of somebody. It's ours now. You can't just come take it from me. It's mine. I have a private property. This is my ownership stake. And I have the right, backed by law, which is why anarchy can never work. Because who's going to enforce these private property rules in an anarchy state? Well, if we just get along, we just get along until someone doesn't. Who's going to enforce it? Well, the citizens will get together and make sure that guy doesn't do that. That's called a government. We're going to govern to make sure that people aren't violating each other's rights. So rule of law is just contractual obligation. We're just enforcing contractual obligation. I sign saying I will do this. You sign saying you will provide that, a contractual obligation. Unless something happens, either I go bankrupt, I'm hurt, or whatever the contract says. You can do whatever you want. You can say anything. Unless Trump doesn't win re-election, I won't adhere to this. And the guy who is on the other side of the contract says, yeah, that's fine. But if we sign contractual agreements, contractual agreements, we have an obligation to uphold our side of the contract. If not, we're violating the law because the rule of law says you have to enforce these contractual obligations, these contractual agreements. You are obligated to do that. If not, we go to court. What are you growling at, buddy? Growly McGee over here. So without rule of law and enforcing contractual agreements, it's complete anarchy. We do whatever we want. Yeah, I'm going to sign a contract to provide this, friggin' 5 cubits of idiots, and you're going to sign it and say, when I provide that, I'll give you $10. And I say, I don't have the idiots, but you give me $10. The guy says, no. And I said, well, here's a gun. Give me the $10. That's theft. Can't do that. That's just taking of private property. So what's the issue with the longshoremen? Well, the longshoremen, I'll show you. I posted this video by this lady right here. Trump lady, by the way. She is a Trump lady. Her husband's a longshoreman. Trump guy. These are not shrinking violets voting for Kamala. They're union. They're Trump guys. And they're MAGA. And then this guy right here writes in Raybo. He says, my grandma used to tell me there are two sides to every story and that the truth is somewhere in the middle. 100%. Then this guy says, two very emotional perspectives and polarized perspectives here. Josh, I'm a little disappointed with you here. This is different from how you make it better. Not to mention all the fallacies of logic rhetoric you're perpetuating here. Well, because I'm saying this lady's saying her side of the story. And he says, you are better than this. Well, I thought you just said there's two sides to every story. I'm showing one side of the story. Absent is any voice from the industry side. You can look up the industry side. What I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is listen to what she says. And then he says, careful what we hate is accusing me of hating something. That's just such a stupid comment. And by the way, automation does save lives. I said, I don't disagree with that. I'm saying, is she wrong? Have you watched the video? Is she wrong? According to her, there is contractual agreement. No, there's a contractual agreement made. Contractual agreement between the union and the companies that they were not going to automate in that 6-year term of their contract. According to her, the companies violated that contractual agreement and started automating without consent of the union. Now, you can say all day long, automation saves lives. That's fine. And you can say all day long, the head of that union, ILA, is a thug, and that's fine too. I don't necessarily disagree with that. You can say all day long, automation reduces costs. That's fine too. Is there a contract, though, stating that they can automate in this 6-year term? If the answer is yes, did they automate? If the answer is yes, then what's the union supposed to do? Are they supposed to say, okay, take it? How do you not get this? Because this guy doesn't want to hear the other side. He just wants to be anti-union. Dude, I get it. He wants to be anti-union. Hear the corporations are always right. They'll never do anything. They want to accuse me of hating. I don't hate. There has to be a way to honor the contracts. So you can have all this highfalutin sound stuff here about your grandma and all this stuff, dude. The question is she wrong? Is she not right about the contract being violated? And then they'll say, well, look at the guy, the union thug. Dude, I get it. He's not a good representative of the union. I get it. He looks like a clown. That doesn't dispute the question, is she wrong about the union's contract being violated? What if your contract are being violated? And you can say, well, they want a 77% pay increase. Yeah, over 6 years. Right? Now, you can argue that. And of course, that's what Trump would say is this is my starting point. You always start high to negotiate down. This level of absurdity from Republicans. These are Trump people, man. The corporation is international, multinational, if not foreign owned outright. And your first thing is that union is bad because look at this union thug. The guy who runs the union. He's making too much money. Forget that guy. Forget, they want 77% raise. That must be nice. Forget that. Was there an agreement contractually? And is that agreement being violated? If that is true, then what is a union supposed to do? What were you supposed to do? You're supposed to pick freaking 5 bushels of apples. If you pick 5 bushels of apples, you got a contract to deliver those to freaking Apple Joe over here. Apple Joe says, I will give you $10 per bushel. You have your 5 bushels of apples, and you go to Apple Joe and you say, Apple Joe, here's my 5 bushels. Give me $50. Apple Joe says, I'm only going to give you $8. You're like, what? We agreed to 8. We agreed to 10. Yeah, I don't feel like it. Like, what am I supposed to do with these? No, you're going to give them to me 8, or you're going to be out. But that's not how it works. Contractual obligation means you have to honor your side of the contract, or you're violating the contract and I can sue you. In this case, they can strike. I don't get with this look at this, man. I'm just like, are they wrong? Yeah, there's no fighting automation. I agree with that. I don't have any 100%. I saw a video in China how they're automating. That's fine. There's no fighting. I get it. But in this case, are they wrong in that their contracts being violated? All these people, we in this country cannot stop automation. Dude, if your contract is being violated, what are you supposed to do? I mean, it's crazy, man. Right here, thinking we should become Luddites to stop automation. Dude, yeah, right here. We want 70% pay raise and new automation in the future. Automation's coming. This is saying, according to this lady, did they violate the contract that was already agreed upon? It's coming. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what they agreed to previously. If the answer is yes, then you should be in favor of the union making things right. If the answer is no, then let's see what you got. No one's saying automation's not coming. Anyway, but Trump is them. I don't get it. It's just weird to me, man. And these are MAGA people. This isn't freaking some. It's weird. Why can't you just hear both sides? Both sides. And I'm just posting on one side because I was like, everyone on my side is like, these union thugs, blah, blah, blah. Like, is there another point to this? All right, love for your contract to be violated, by the way, your employment contract. Can't wait to see this guy's employment contract violated. It says, well, automation's coming and it makes people say, yeah, okay, that's great. For right now, your employment contract's being violated. What do? You just freaking sit and take it? No. Have some freaking just sympathy or empathy. I don't know what the word is. All right, God bless. We'll see you.